Hey guys, this is Robert, and in this video I want to cover some terms and definitions because of the big frenzy in cryptocurrency. So I felt that before we jump on the cryptocurrency investment bandwagon, I think we should learn what some of these terms are so we can be better educated in our investment strategies. So let's start with a few terms and definitions. The first term, smart contract. A smart contract is a two-way contract. It's an unalterable agreement stored on the blockchain that has specific logic operations akin to a real-world contract. Once signed, it can never be altered. A smart contract can be used to define certain computational benchmarks or barriers that have to be met in turn for money or data to be deposited or even be used to verify things such as land rights. Term number two, signature. A signature is a mathematical operation that lets someone prove their sole ownership over their wallet, coin, data, or on. An example is how a Bitcoin wallet may have a public address, but only a private key can verify with the whole network that a signature matches a transaction is valid. These are only known to the owner and are basically mathematically impossible to uncover. Number three, public or private key. In cryptography, a public key is a cryptographic key that can be utilized by any party to encrypt a message. Another party can then receive the message and use a key that is only known to that individual or group. Decode the message. Number four, POS. Stands for proof of stake. Has been considered the greener alternative to POW, where POW requires the power to perform a certain amount of computational work. A proof of stake system requires the power to show ownership of a certain amount of money or stake. Now, let's talk about POW. Proof of work was a concept originally designed to sieve spam emails and present DDoS attacks. It was meant to prevent that. A proof of work is essentially a datum that is very costly to produce in terms of time and resources, but can be very simply verified by another party. The proof of work for Bitcoin is referred to as a nonce, or number used only once. This has been considered an energy intensive alternative to proof of stake, as the computers unfortunately have to be on and running, which also drives the market towards centralization of hashing power, which is what the blockchain aims to defeat. Node. A node is essentially a computer connected to the Bitcoin network. A node supports the network through validation and relaying of transactions while receiving a copy of the full blockchain itself. Multi-sig or multi-signature refers to having more than one signature to approve a transaction. This form of security is beneficial for a company receiving money into their BTC wallet. If a company wants to keep it so that one employee doesn't have sole access to a transaction, multi-sig allows for a transaction to be verified by two separate employees before it's complete. The next term is mining. Mining is the term used for discovering and solving blocks along the blockchain. A reward is given for solving the algorithm and lengthening the chain, called a mining reward. The mining reward for the Bitcoin blockchain is Bitcoin. Hash rate. Hash rate is the speed at which a block is discovered and the rate at which the related math problem is solved. Certain tools have been created to allow for higher hash rates. Halving. Halving is the reduction of mineable rewards every so many blocks. For Bitcoin, the reward is halved after the first 210,000 blocks are mined, and then every 210,000 thereafter. 10. Fork. A fork is the permanent divergence of an alternative operating version of the current blockchain. Forks come into existence when a 51% attack occurs, a bug in the program, or more commonly, a new set of consensus rules come into existence. These happen when a development team creates and inserts notably substantial changes into the system. The successful fork is decided by the height of their blocks. 11. Distributed and central ledger. A distributed ledger is an agreement of shared, replicable, and synchronized data. In this case, spread across multiple networks, across many CPUs. A central ledger is the opposite in that all of the data, while being synchronized and replicable, is controlled by a singular network or individual. 12. Block reward. A block reward is the reward allotted for hashing or solving the mathematical equation related to a block. The reward for mining a Bitcoin block is 25 Bitcoins per block mined, which will half every 210,000 blocks. Block height. Block height is the number of blocks preceding the genesis block or first block on the chain. A genesis block will always have a height of 0 because nothing precedes it. It's a metric used to create a bearing on time in the programming world, as well as a few other functions such as maintaining counterparty and betting in the crypto world. Considering that a new Bitcoin block is made every 10 minutes, you can work out certain time related pieces of information if you have the total length of the chain. 14. Block. Blocks are essentially pages in the ledger or record keeping book. Blocks are the files where unalterable data related to the network is permanently stored forever, like eternity. Blockchain. That word's been thrown around a couple times, so let's take a look at blockchain. Number 15. A blockchain is a data system that allows for the creation of a digital ledger or transaction on a non-centralized network. Cryptography is the main operator that allows for users to engage with the ledger without the need for any central figurehead. In layman's terms, this means that people and computers all work together to create a network instead of a network being made by one single person or company. This network is enabled and protected through cryptography. We have seen this used in currency, data transfer, and on. The blockchain is comprised of blocks and is constantly growing as each new record, datum, or block is added into the chain for everyone to see. 16. ASIC or ASIC miner. ASIC mining is a crafty method of mining various coins at a much faster rate than any normal desktop or laptop might allow. Essentially, what an ASIC or application specific integrated circuit is a chip specifically created to execute one task: enter ASIC mining. An example of one such model is an ASIC miner created to only process SHA-256, which is the platform offered by the Bitcoin blockchain to mine new coins. There are also ASICs for Script, which specifically solves the mathematical code in relation to altcoins such as Litecoin. Though in recent years there has been a good amount of dialogue surrounding the longevity of mining this way, and we've even seen coins making it so that it's impossible to mine with an ASIC. Number 17, altcoin. An altcoin is the community accepted name for any coin that isn't Bitcoin. Altcoins that we previously discussed include Dash and Moreno. Address. A Bitcoin address is essentially the same thing as your home address. It's the location from which you would receive, send, or hold your currency. These addresses generally manifest in a long string of alphanumeric characters. And finally, 51% attack. A 51% attack is a situation where more than half of the computing power on a network is operated by a single individual or concentrated group, which gives them complete and total control over a network. Things that include an entity with 51% of the computing power can include, but are not limited to, halting all mining, halting and manipulation, all interpersonal transaction, and use single coins over and over. That, of course, can be a very, very, very bad thing. So I wanted to familiarize some of you listeners with some of the terms that are out there, because anytime we get into a different market, a different genre, a different space, it usually comes with its own terminology, and it is critical for us to understand the terminology of something that we're getting in so that we can understand each step we take in our investing process. I hope you guys have enjoyed this presentation. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, conquer with character.